I have a question to ask you. Would you consider a game that came out and within very short order quickly amasses a player count of 31,000 players, over 31,000 players, would you consider that to be a wild success, especially given the fact that it's over about 18 months old, just about 2 years, I think 2 years probably at the end of the year here, 2 years old? Or would you consider that a monumental flop and you would go ahead and simply chalk it up to the boogeyman of 2024? Well, if you're certain commentary sites, you would definitely go ahead and attribute that to be the latter, as Sweet Baby Inc. effect apparently causes God of War Ragnarok's peak player count to be less than half of the original God of War on Steam, where, men lie, women lie, Sweet Baby Inc. grifts until the stars fall out of the sky, but numbers do not lie. And yes, God of War's peak player count was north of 70,000 players, which is fantastic, of course, but to simply chalk up a perceived failure of 36,000 players as, the game was woke, guys, that's quite disingenuous. Okay. Before we get into any of the subject material on display, it's like I can go ahead and name you a few different reasons as to why the game has less than half of the original's audience. Word of mouth from people that are on a power trip thinking that, if I just point and say that Sweet Baby Inc. is attached to it, I can immediately tank the game. Well, that's one thing, even though the story and the gameplay itself has nothing to do with woke. But okay, you can go ahead and say the black girl and the Thor's a cuck and Kratos is soy because he lets his wife hunt. It's like, okay, that's very interesting. Can you cite me any examples? Did you play the game? Did you watch any breakdowns of the game, or are you just going off secondhand information? Oh, okay, cool. I understand where you're coming from. Or can you point to the lower player count also being tied to Sony continually making terrible decisions where, thank you for porting your games over, but it's a shame that you need to have the archaic tethering to your failing console platform. It's like, why do you have to continue to do that? That's also a contributing factor. Then also, the port of the 2-year-old game is still damn expensive, especially when there are other products on the platform that do fill that hack and slash niche. They're just simply waiting for a sale. Because I'm over here on the Steam store where they're pointing to this stuff, and we got top sellers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, what's the 11th best-selling game? Alright, God of War Ragnarok, and right now it's a full price release. Hell, I was singing the praises not that long ago of Final Fantasy VII 16, and it even comes in at a reduced price. And it's newer than Ragnarok. I don't know, man, they're going out of their way to try to kneecap this game. But honestly, of the people that are playing it, you look at the reviews, and man, mostly positive, but that's what did they chalk that up to? Oh, right, the first thing that you see, PlayStation Network account required, subject to PlayStation's terms of service. Oh, not really all that optimized. Good overall, but something is funky with performance. One of the negative reviews. I thought, who cares if you have to make a PSN account? It doesn't really. 40 minutes later of it telling me the password I just made is wrong. Why can't Sony do anything right? So it has less to do with the game being woke, and it has more to do with Sony being an incredibly stupid video game company. But here we are, another day that ends in wine, as pointing out how Sony continues to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. The peak concurrent player counts for Santa Monica Studios' God of War Ragnarok are less than half the studio's previous installment, God of War. As reported by SteamDB, yes, God of War Ragnarok hit a peak concurrent count of 31,000. Did I say 36? 31. My mistake. Dyslexia, apparently. Like I said, allergies. I said in a video earlier this week, allergies or something, whatever. A mistake. I was stupid. I screwed up. Don't worry about it. Earlier today, just a few days after it became available for purchase on Steam, and you take a look at that trajectory, and it's looking good. It's not flatlining. It's just Sony being dumb. It's less than 57% of the previous installment in the franchise. Yes, which had a peak concurrent player count of 73,529 when it released on Steam back in January of 2022. 4 years after release and during the first batch of former PlayStation exclusives making the jump to PC. So it also had that behind it as well, and also didn't release at an $80 price point. or I guess it would be 70 in the States. In Canada, you get it up the ass whenever you want to buy a new game. Interestingly, both games have the exact same Metacritic score of 45. However, user score is a full point lower on Ragnarok, which some people, well, if they're not going to go Sweet Baby Inc. route, which is, man, it's a way that you can go. We'll go with that. We'll say that it's more iterative. It doesn't have that same newness to it like the first one did when you made the leap over to the Norse setting. It's like, okay, I understand. Despite the scores being similar, the lack of players for God of War, 31,000 players isn't exactly a lack of players, bro. Indicates players are not purchasing the game. Like, it's the 11th best-selling game. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just frankly not the case. But one reason could be that the video game consultancy company Sweet Baby Inc., led by Kim Belair, worked on God of War Ragnarok, which barely anybody really points to, if we're going to be completely honest. Hell, that's one of those games that kind of flew under the radar, mostly because it was much earlier in Sweet Baby Inc.'s timeline. Some people will, take a look at the follies of Alan Wake 2 and go, oh, that makes sense, because the character that you play of instead of Alan Wake is a race-swapped Scandinavian lady who's black all of a sudden. That makes sense. Or Spooderman 2. Or any of the other failed indie products this year, given this fact the game was added to, yes, Sweet Baby Inc.'s Detected Steam Curator list because, well, it's right there, okay? Really hard to dispute that fact that it doesn't deserve to be on that list. Another reason for the lack of players could be the fact that PlayStation Studios, the game's publisher, is charging full price for the game despite it originally being released as an exclusive back in 2022. Yeah, I think that probably has more to do with it because very few people are, even though, yes, the SBI detected Steam Curator list, I think, is at the precipice of overtaking a PC Gamer. It's the second largest Steam Curator group, but it's still God of War at the end of the day, and people will be excited to play it. And it's not at full price, and yeah, it doesn't require the stupid PSN account, which is, it's just so dumb, man. Remember, that was basically the tip-off point that practically killed Helldivers 2 momentum. And then Sony in their infinite wisdom said, oh, don't worry, with our next upcoming release in Ghosts of Tsushima, you won't need the PSN account for the single-player experience. But for the online, yeah, you're going to have to. And then they just decide for God of War Ragnarok that doesn't have any multiplayer elements to it. Yeah, you're just going to need the account. Slippery slope, same results. Yeah, the reviews for the game on Steam are currently mixed. Well, we just checked it, and now it's mostly positive. And everything that's being pointed out is performance and the PlayStation account. So see, that's totally different. And if we're going to be quibbling about that stuff, then yeah, you can throw in the criticism that, yes, Sweet Baby Inc. and their need to just go ahead and black everything up is very important to talk about. But if you're going to be talking about if the game is worthwhile to experience, you need to be honest about it. If they can go ahead and clean up some of the performance issues, then 1000%. If you want to wait for a sale, totally cool with that as well. But the God of War franchise, the God of War series, is in good hands right now. Santa Monica Studios at this point in time is more than capable of continuing to tell the stories of Kratos and Atreus. It'll be interesting to see where they go. As opposed to this, where apparently Rocksteady, who also very famously worked, well, more so famously worked with Sweet Baby Inc. on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and in that game very famously took out the Arkham vs. Batman, well, they had Harley Quinn deliver some maudlin soliloquy and then execute him on a park bench. Not too many people were happy about that and really wondered, it's like, wow, what's wrong with Rocksteady? But apparently they're working on a new Batman game, and no, this isn't the VR Facebook, whatever they're calling Oculus Rift exclusive experience over there. This is a brand new full-fledged Arkham Batman game that's probably going to inspire more people to go play City or Night or Origins or The Great Asylum. Like, why are you doing this? Why? There are some people that will be tricked. Honestly, there are some normies that are out there that'll go, I remember the Batman games. I remember. I'll be excited to play this game. But then there's other people that'll go, oh, it's Rocksteady. They released Kill the Justice League. This isn't the same Rocksteady anymore. This is exactly what's going on with BioWare right now. There are some people that were excited by the idea of a new Dragon Age game. And then they seen the character creation and went, oh god, this is not going to be good. So when we go through that part of the promotion cycle for whatever this new Batman Arkham drag time story hour, whatever the hell they're going to be calling it. And then people start to see the promotional material. They're going to go, oh, right, Rocksteady got compromised years ago. All of the creative minds behind that project that initially made that trilogy of games successful, yeah, they're no longer with the company. This is the textbook definition of screwing upwards. How does Warner Brothers, right? Like, if it wasn't for Sony, the dumbest company in not just gaming, but in all of entertainment, how do you take a $200 million public loss like what you did with Kill the Justice League and go, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take one of our most cherished IPs in Batman and just give them back to you because you had successes with the franchise 10 years ago. But your most recent endeavor was arguably the biggest flop in history prior to the revelations about Concord that we've recently had. But let's take a look at some of these rumors. Rocksteady Studio, unbelievable. The developer of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and various Batman Arkham games is rumored to be working on a new Batman game, which, why? Ex-user Nick Sheepshaw, sure, claims that Rocksteady is working on a new Batman game. He wrote, not sure which studio people's dream is, but I heard Rocksteady are back making it. This is in regards to the stupid Game Awards, saying name your dream developer for the next Batman game, which if this is going to be a tease for an announcement, we could be hearing something about this towards the end of the year. Oh God. I also think, going back to this, Sony are trying to money hat it. Oh my God. Batman with rainbow webbing with a progress pride flag cape. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for it to follow along the lines of the Tom King run where he eventually gets left at the altar by Catwoman? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for Robin being played by Tim Drake where he comes out, hi Bruce, I'm fucking Dick now. Are you ready for that? Oh, this is gonna be ass, bro. Oh my God. In response to another user casting doubt on it being a new game, he replied, not sure why. You would doubt it. I heard new game, Arkham Origins remaster or Arkham Trilogy PS5 version, but I doubt it's a new game. That's just somebody going, it kind of makes more sense for them to remaster something to show that, you know, hey, we're still a decent studio. We can still do something, right, guys? Give us another opportunity. That's just somebody, I don't know, really trying to best case scenario this. But yo, I would kind of think in order to offset all of the bad will and all of the negativity cast on Rocksteady, justifiably so, garnered in the early stages of 2024, to try to cap off the year with the idea that, oh my God, Arkham Batman's back. Oh my God, we're going to be able to rewrite all the wrongs we created for Arkham Batman. Don't think about it too hard. These are the masterminds. These are the guys that created the game to begin with. Okay, they made Arkham Asylum, City, Suicide Squad. They did all that. Bro, the last time you guys had Batman, this is the last time we've seen Batman. I don't have faith in this. I think that it's true. I think that Rocksteady, I think Warner Brothers is dumb enough to follow through on this stuff. But I suppose until we have confirmation, simply only time will tell. I'm just saying, don't be shocked if in December we're having a good belly laugh over the stupidity that is on the horizon still in the AAA gaming industry. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.